Yo, what's good with y'all? It's Keymajor. I'm back with another video for y'all today. It's early in the morning. I'm tired, but Travis Scott dropped this new album last night. And you already know I had to pump out a quick video for y'all. So here I am in the FLP, about to break it down. The least you guys can do is leave a like on the video if you guys learned something new or enjoy. Make sure you guys also subscribe, hit the bell so you don't miss any more videos or live streams. So let's get straight to it. So this FLP is pretty big, and there's a lot of sections and elements to it. I basically took this original loop that I made and I turned it into something different that would fit more of that Travis Scott vibe. But I first started with this Addicted Keys piano, and I went to the Studio Grand preset Preacher. But these chords are very simple. I first just laid down my root note, which was C sharp, and then for the second half I copied it down 4 notes to give it that emotional feel and switch it up. After that, I took my C sharp and I copied it up 7 notes up to G sharp. All I did is I took that same G sharp up an octave, and these notes are just going up the scale, and then goes back down to C sharp. I just sliced it to give it some more rhythm. Took this pattern, copied it over for the second half, changed a little bit of the notes. I first took this and I just reversed it by doing Alt Y. Took this and I copied it over for the last half to make it sound really realistic. I did Alt R, randomizing the velocities, and then Alt S, and Alt S to strum the melody. On the effects, I had this Somatics Origins Vintage plugin. This is a free plugin, I believe. It's kind of just like filtering out the sample. Growth speed, giving it some more bounce, and then EQ, taking out this one harsh frequency and then raising the highs, cutting out most of the lows. And then down here, I made it mono. I made a lot of these sounds more mono. But after that, I put it into Slicer, and inside of Slicer, I turned the attack up a little more than halfway, and the decay a little bit, a quarter way. This TS knob, I turned up to 200, which is just kind of slicing the notes and kind of stretching them out so they're a lot slower. And then this is just the pitch shift. I pitched it up an octave, and I just had it playing all the way up, which all I did was clicked on this piano and normal. I did want to make it sound more full, so I added this halftime, which is just layering it an octave lower. I just turned the mix down to 43%. Then I added pancake, panning left and right, and I just turned the mix down, taking out most of the lows and the highs to make it sound more vintage and old, taking out some harsh lower mids and then one harsh frequency right here. And then I panned this to the right and I made it more mono as well. And that's basically the foundation of the original first loop. I exported that into this. And it was pretty simple. After that, I just laid down 2 layers of my guitar. Obviously, if you don't have a real guitar that you could use, I'll have 2 VSTs on the screen right now that I personally like to use when I'm not using my real guitar. They're both very simple. It's just me playing some simple notes, not even chords. I added this LX480 Essentials, which all it is just a reverb. I don't have it anymore because it was kind of just useless. But all it is just a reverb. It's a very small amount of reverb that I added. Then an EQ, taking out all the lows and raising the highs a little bit. And then RC20 Vinyl 1. I think this is the same one that I use on the other guitar layer. But that's pretty much it. After that, I exported that. That was really the foundation of the sample, made it sound real dark, grainy, and just vintage. Now we move on to the new sample that I made with it, which is all this stuff that I added down here. This is where I really try to add that Travis Scott feel. But anyways, for the first half, I have the guitar playing out, and then I have this transition right here, which leads into the first part. So I added this bass Stevie. So yeah, it's very simple, just the same bass notes from the original piano. After that, I added another analog lab, and I went into Mac Shooter's Bank, the WC Profit V Bank, and I selected the best pad. these chords are extremely simple. The sound selection is just really nice, but I just laid down the same bass notes. As you can see, starts on F, then goes to A. I just add this little transitional in between, and I just create this very simple top melody up here using the same notes I previously used down here. The melodies, you know, you want to create nice sounding chords obviously, but what really matters more is the sound selection. You want to pick a lot of hard synth type of sounds, which you'll see I pick a lot in this second half. Next, I go into the Prophet and I pick this preset right here inside of the leads, and all I did is I copied the exact same notes. This sound is just a lot more harsh. I forgot to mention the effects on the last synth. I had a halftime layered. I just put the band halfway, 47%, and just layer. And then ambience reverb, just giving it a little bit of reverb. And then down here, I just cut out the lows with the stock EQ. And I made this one a little more stereo. And then for the second synth, I added this crystallizer, the muffled up octave preset inside of the guitars and keys, just to give us a little bit more texture in the background. And then pancakes was panning quickly left and right, giving us some more movement, so it's not colliding as much with the first synth. Plus, this one is a little more mono, and the first one is a little more stereo. And that was pretty much it for pattern A. Before I go into all these like textures and accents and stuff, I'm gonna go into pattern 3 and show the last couple melodies. These last two sounds are all synths from my new one-shot kit I'm dropping soon. First one I selected is Sorrow, and I just laid down this very simple counter melody. Very simple, just going up the scale, and I copied it for the second half and just brought these notes down. Very simple. And then for the effects, all I added was the ambience reverb, and I panned it a little bit to the right. The last sound I added is this Prophet preset from the Synths. These are the same notes as the bass notes, just playing at a different order, and I layered it up an octave, just took the velocity down so it's a lot more quiet. And then I liked this sound very dry, so I didn't add any effects, and that's pretty much it for all the melodies. After that, I added a lot of textures, transitions, accents, phrases, a lot of things to fill in the gaps and make it sound a lot more full. And lastly, this modulation down here. So first, starting with the transitions. Now this comes from my new kit as well. It's in the vocals, and I picked the Nostalgia. All I did is I took the first half, pitched it up an octave, and I used the fade in tool to fade it in to give that riser feel. Very simple, very small detail, but adds a lot to the sample. All I added was some reverb. And then down here, I have two more transitions to go on top of that. Hopefully these come from the Cadence one-shot kit from Producer Grind. I selected the beeps and the trap. And this just sounded very dramatic, very hype. Just gave it a lot of energy to the sample. Lastly, in the same bank, I went into the transitions and I selected the Lust. This wave is just one of the Prophets exported out, but the next phrase I added is this Midwest guitar chop from the guitar tab. All I did is I put it in key and I reversed it. Down here, the modulation went on the master, and I did an automation clip for this the master volume, and all I did was just dip it up and down with the wave preset. Just right click and select wave. But yeah, it's pretty much it. For the master, I had a sound shifter pitching it down 1, and then just this EQ and then Fruity Limiter just making it a lot louder. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys did enjoy and learn something new. Make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell so you don't miss any more videos. If you guys are struggling with sound selection, I have plenty of kits on my website. It'll be the first thing in the description down below. Bunch of high quality sounds for a very cheap price. And I have one free kit on there, so you guys will get a little teaser of how the other kits are as well. But yeah, man, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video.